Welcome back, guys. We are continuing our Alexander the Great's continuation of conquering the entire Persian Empire. Glad you're here with me. This is like part, what, 3 of the series right here of, yeah, so make sure you go watch the other episodes. Let's jump right into it. Alexander smashes the Persians.
In 334 BC, Alexander, 21-year-old ruler of the small Greek kingdom of Macedonia, led an invasion of the vast Persian Empire. It seemed impossible odds. But thanks to Greek military dominance and Alexander's fearless leadership, he won 2 great battles against the Persians, at the river Granicus and at Issus.
Wait, had they really only had 2 battles? I know they've had several sieges, but they've only had 2 battles? Wow.
Having subdued Persian lands west of the Euphrates River, he now headed east into the empire's heartlands, seeking a final showdown with the Persian king, Darius III.
I'm wondering where, though.
Receiving news that a great Persian army led by Darius had assembled at Gaugamela, near modern Mosul in Iraq, he made straight for it. This was Darius's last chance to stop Alexander, and Alexander's chance to smash Persian power once and for all.
That's a lot of marching, too. Gaugamela.
Darius had chosen to fight on open ground, where his advantage in numbers would be more telling. His soldiers had also worked hard to clear and flatten the terrain, to make it suitable for Persian war chariots.
They were farmers? They were out there plowing the land?
By modern estimates, the Persian army was between 50 and 80,000 strong.
Okay.
And made up of contingents from across the empire.
Yep.
Infantry from Syria.
We got war elephants. Uh-oh.
And Babylonia. Cavalry from Armenia, India, and Central Asia. Up to 200 scythed chariots. Even a handful of war elephants.
That's crazy. 800 years later, we see war elephants in Persia. There's the Sassanids fight the Rashidans, and here we go with Alexander versus some war elephants. This is crazy.
Alexander's army was smaller and may have been outnumbered by as much as 2 to 1.
Yeah, looks that way.
He deployed his units in their usual formation. On the left flank, Thracian and Thessalian cavalry, commanded by Parmenion. In the center, the Macedonian veterans of the phalanx, each armed with their 18-foot sarissa pike. On the right flank, Alexander with his elite cavalry, the Companions, and his best infantry, the Hypaspists. These were the units with which Alexander planned to launch his main attack. Greek hoplites formed a second line and supported both wings, which were angled back to guard against encirclement by the Persians.
Okay. Big battle. Big battle.
The battle began when Alexander led his wing out to the right, a move that took the Persians by surprise.
Always being aggressive.
Could Alexander really be trying to encircle their huge army? The Persians mirrored his movement, taking troops away from their center to outflank Alexander and prevent him leaving the area they'd cleared for the Persian chariots. But Alexander's unusual maneuver was a trap to entice the Persians to weaken their center. When he saw that it had worked, he ordered his Greek cavalry to charge to keep the Persians fixed in position. A giant cavalry battle developed on the right wing. Darius, meanwhile, judging this to be the decisive moment, unleashed his chariots.
Bunch of chariots? Okay, maybe this is like just an animation, guys, so don't hate me. How are these chariots actually going to like inflict damage if it's just a guy with some horses? There's got to be someone riding with this guy, right? Like, what is this? I don't get it.
But expert Agrianes javelin throwers took out horses and crews.
Crews. Okay, so we're gonna imagine that there was like maybe some javelin throwers and or some sword slingers and or some bow or some archers on these chariots as well. That's what we'll assume.
While the Greek infantry opened lanes, allowing the chariots to pass harmlessly through.
And then close the gap.
Now Alexander led his Companion Cavalry and parts of the Macedonian phalanx in a headlong charge, straight at the weakened Persian centre, fighting his way towards Darius himself. The sudden ferocity of Alexander's assault threw the Persians into panic. The centre of the army broke and ran, King Darius himself leading the rout.
He just loves fleeting.
But Alexander's left wing was in serious trouble. Parmenion, facing a huge onslaught by Persian cavalry, was virtually surrounded. Indian and Scythian horsemen had even ridden through a gap in the Greek line. But rather than wheeling and attacking the Greeks from behind, they'd carried straight on to loot their camp.
Oh. That's interesting. Kind of weird, too, that they would do that.
Parmenion sent a desperate appeal to Alexander for help. The king abandoned his pursuit of Darius, regrouped, and charged the Persian right wing. It was the hardest and bloodiest fighting of the battle, claiming the lives of 60 of Alexander's companions. Finally, as news of Darius's flight spread across the battlefield, the last Persian horseman turned and fled.
Morale gone. Especially when your leader leaves and abandons you.
The Battle of Gaugamela was a stunning and complete victory for Alexander.
It's just technological and strategical at this point.
According to ancient sources, he lost just a few hundred men.
Wow.
While the Persians lost thousands.
Insane. Strategy's horrible for Persia.
Alexander had routed Darius's great army. And now the road to Babylon, the empire's main capital, lay open.
That's what I was thinking.
The Macedonian king entered the great city in triumph, recognized by Persian officials as its new rightful ruler.
Dang.
So too at the city of Susa, where Alexander ceremonially took his seat upon the royal throne of Persia.
Wow.
In the Zagros Mountains, at a pass known as the Persian Gates, a courageous Persian force held up Alexander's army for a month. The Greeks eventually found a mountain path that bypassed their position, allowing them to encircle and wipe out the defenders. In early 330 BC, Alexander reached Persepolis, the empire's ceremonial capital. Alexander wanted to appear as a liberator to the Persians, as a legitimate successor to King Darius. But now he ordered Persepolis to be pillaged and burnt. Retribution for the Persian invasion of Greece and the burning of Athens' sacred temples in 480 BC.
He's like, I'm gonna get my get back. I remember. I wasn't even there, but I remember.
Alexander now headed north into Media. where Darius had taken refuge in the royal city of Ecbatana. Alexander was determined to capture Darius, but the fugitive king fled east,
He loves fleeing.
raising a new army in the provinces of Parthia, Bactria, and Sogdia.
Axiana.
It was not to be. As Alexander closed in, the Persian king was murdered by one of his own governors, Bessus,
Really?
who then proclaimed himself the empire's new ruler.
And that's why.
Alexander gave orders for Darius to be buried in the royal tombs of Persepolis, alongside his ancestors.
That's honorable. It's very
Then he
honorable.
paused to organize his vast new empire. Alexander appointed viceroys to rule the provinces on his behalf, keeping several Persians who had sworn loyalty in their posts. Then he resumed his march east, his goal to find and kill the usurper Bessus, subjugate the empire's eastern provinces, and reach the far edge of the world.
Getting good. Getting real good.
Research at
All right. As we can see, he has conquered the entire Persian Empire, basically, at this point. Egypt, Syria, Levant, Media, Babylon, etc., etc. I think we got one more video to watch, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can go watch it together. Guys, this has been awesome. We're coming almost to the end of our Alexander series, so make sure you leave some video recommendations down below. I read every comment, so I'll see you guys there. Till next time, peace out. Bye bye.